and gentlemen, I have some problems with the opponent's case. They said that voting is the biggest social participation. We do agree on that voting is the biggest social participation. That is why we don't want to limit their right that they have to take this test. That is why we don't want them to take this test. As based on all the problems, as opening oppositions, our identity is we want every individual to participate in voting, as it is the right of each and every individual of the country to vote. Here are some of my main arguments. First of all, we are going to give people the right to vote even though they don't have the political knowledge. We all know in our current status quo, especially in our country, people with the age of 40 and above did not qualify in higher education. Most of them only studied until the primary or secondary school, and they covered the large amount and large number of voters. It will only decrease the number of voters from their age. And in our country, there is the concentration of power, so it impacted in the educational field, which resulted in unequal education of the people. Instead of being the political problem, it will only become the educational problem. So we will have to upgrade our education system first if we want to apply this, and if we want to improve the political general knowledge of the people. For example, there is a difference between the educational system in Papua and in Jakarta. The people of Papua have less education than that of the people of Jakarta. And it affected in the voting, as the people of Papua did not know about their candidates and about all the things in the voting itself. Next is that we think it will kill the democracy. And why will it affect the democracy? Is that it will only be favorable to the big political parties with the members of their party that have high political knowledge. And how do we say that? For example, a big political party that has known to be not fair, but they have large members which have high quality and high knowledge of politics. So through that, the political parties or political candidate who have smaller member, but a smaller member wouldn't be able to win. It will only lead the country to being led by a dishonest leader, and it will only kill the democracy. That is the reason why it will affect the democracy. Next, how will it affect the new voters? It will decrease the number of new voters to participate in the election. Why do we say so? As we know, new voters are the fresh voters who are going to vote for the first time in their life. And if they fail to take the test, they will have to repeat again, as the government side of the house said. They will have to repeat the test again after 5 years. And it will only impact in their interest in voting, as their first gave them only disappointment. And it will only affect in the interest of young people to the politics of their country. How do we say that? We all know in the age of 17, which are the new voters, they have less interest in education and learning. They don't want to learn a lot. They still want to play a lot, and also they don't have high interest in politics, because they think that we are still too young to think about politics and we don't want to care about the politics. So if this test is going to be applied to the country, it will only result in more and more not interest of the young people in the politics. And in the next chances, even if they fail for the first time, in the next chances, it will only going to lead them to not to vote again, because they are going to lose interest in it, because they will think that I failed the first one and I did not even study for the next one, and I don't have the interest to politics, so I don't think that my voice is going to matter, as the first time I did not took it and my voice did not actually affect at all. So just imagine how much of the young population, if they think like that, we will only going to lose the political interest of young people, and it will only going to give the outcome of chaos in the future of our country, as there will be no young generation who wants to continue in pursuing the pursuing the political career. So in the next chances, they will only become political apathy. They would not care about the politics at all, and they will not take the next chances. In the worst case scenario, if they don't use the test, if they don't apply the test, even if a chaos happened through the voting, then the political leader chosen did not fulfill their duty. It will create the sense of responsibility through experience, because they will realize that they took part in electing the political leader that failed their duty. So it will give them sense of learning that, yeah, we did something wrong and we have to improve it in the next election. We don't want to let this kind of political leader to lead us again, which will increase the sense of democracy too, and also the sense of political learning, because it will not limit them to only give the right to the one who knows the political knowledge, and also through their experience they will also gain the knowledge of politics. As the tests will be applied, it will only increase in the number of abstain voters, from which we know in our country itself the main problem is mostly in the election that abstain voters are increasing each time. So if this test to be applied, there is only going to increase in the number of abstain voters, as they will think that we are not qualified enough to vote, so we don't think that our voice matter, and it is only going to create more political apathy in the society. And in each time there will be increase in absent voters, and there will be the time in the future where the absent voters are higher than the voters that have already given their voice in the election. So that is why we proudly oppose this motion. Thank you.